Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and comrades abound. My name is David Streggy, and I run Inside Movies Galore. And here I have another review for you, all the way from the Netherlands, from a filmmaker that lives in South Holland by the name of Richard Raaphorst. I believe that's what his name is. Hopefully, I said it correctly. Raaphorst. Yeah. In any case, here's what the film looks like. And it's definitely got a very cool cover. But it's brought to us by production companies: MPI Media Group, Dark Sky Films, Pellicola Productions, XYZ Films, Serena Films, Ministry of Culture of the Czech Republic, the Czech film industry, a support program, and it was filmed in part in the Netherlands and some of the Czech Republic. And so we have a squad of Russian soldiers that evidently we have a character by the name of Dmitri, played by Alexander Mercury, who is documenting the exploits of this squad. We see that this squad is in the midst of the end of the. This is set in World War II, or towards the end of World War II. So along the way, we see that this squad is still in the midst of battle, and they are trying to get their way back to the motherland. When they get a call from another squad, supposedly in the area, and on their way, they come across skeletons. They come across mechanical, robotic creatures, and eventually, the reality of the situation is that they come across a church where somewhere nearby there was a convent of nuns that were killed. I mean, there is literally a body of these like bodies that they come across, and one of them is still alive. And you can see the atrocities that have been done to these nuns. And as they go into this church, they realize that the church and the surrounding buildings nearby have been turned into kind of a factory that is run by a generation of electricity. And they come across many different mechanical undead-like creatures, which eventually they realize that they are none other being led by a captain, unbeknownst to them, to try to pick up the grandson of the original Dr. Frankenstein and his plans and take him back to Moscow. So we have a leader by the name of Sergei, played by Joshua Sassy, and I like that the guy who plays the servant who brings them down there also plays the grandson of Victor Frankenstein, and his name is actually Victor, but he is played by Carol Roden, which we'll know him from Hellboy. We know him from the film Orphan. We know him from After Dark films, The Abandoned, but I know him as the German by the name of Strucken in Bulletproof Monk. So I thought that this film definitely, to me, had many levels of horror. I mean, it had gore. It didn't hide much of the torture that went on in the film. You had the unseen horror, which is the kind where some of the characters were stuck in a situation, and they were caught, and ultimately some of the characters were taken from them, and you could hear them being killed. So that is some of the unseen horror. The special effects in here were amazing. I mean, you had characters that were mechanicalized and had blades, swords, saw blades. There was an interesting character that had propellers. There was one that had like 6 blades. I mean, these were robotic creatures that evidently had someone on the inside of them, and many of these were war-used mechanics. I mean, the propeller looked like it would have been like on a B-52 bomber or something like that, or a Flying Fortress. And I love that the 3 levels of horror that I always think of is, first of all, war. The war horror, in which you obviously see the fallen bodies. You see the pillaged farms, and I love how the troop, the squad, is not innocent. I mean, they are obviously supposedly supposed to be making their way back to the motherland, and yet you see them before they even reach the church. You see them kill some people along the way, so they are kill happy. So you don't really feel bad for them when they actually get killed one by one. I love that there is another character design that made one of the robots look like a mosquito, like a man, and there are just so many creature designs in here. It's not even possible to entirely tell each and every one of them, but they worked on so many levels. I mean, God, this had to be whoever was behind the creature design of this film had to have had a lot of fun designing some of these, because some of these, some of these were just amazing. I mean, it kind of reminded me of watching the Todd Browning's Freaks. I mean, you didn't know which monster to. I mean, around every corner there was a monster or two, and when you saw some of the creatures and some of the monsters were in fact their fallen comrades, that's when it was more terrifying. And I mean, the only thing that I didn't like about the film was there was a moment where Dr. Frankenstein was having Dimitri document some of his work before he supposedly was supposed to work on him. Where he was about to open up the brain of Sergei. And the camera went away. It went dark. You didn't see him cut the brain open. I wish that you could have seen some more of that, but some more of the cutting. I like it when you can actually view more of the torture in a horror film than having the camera cut away like that. Other than that, I thought that the effects in here was awesome. The level of gore in here and I know that this film was independent, but it was picked up by a mainstream horror independent Dark Sky. That's actually a pretty big company. So I thought that this was an entertaining horror film. It was basically nonstop action, but I love the level of gore in here, and I think that it worked with having Vasily here, played by Andrei Zayats. He played the soldier that seemed to not care who exactly he killed, no matter if it was his fallen comrades or the Germans. He just enjoyed killing, and so when you got to see him in the very end having one arm, I wonder how that effect was done, because you didn't really see like his body underneath or anything like that. It didn't really look like his like he had his arm underneath anything. It was very well done. So I also like the fact that the period of the dressing was very accurate of what they would have actually worn at that point in time. So I fairly enjoyed this film. I loved it on many different levels. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed my description of this film. Like and subscribe to my page if you have not. I definitely thought that this was over the top fun gore fest, and hopefully other people are able to enjoy this film. It is an underachiever as well as an overachiever, and I think that it deserves to be mentioned because it was a version of Frankenstein that I'm sure that many people have thought that could be possible, and just the creatures. There were so many of them. And I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel to this film eventually down the road. I have to say that this is one of my favorite war / undead kind of films. So, in any case, thank you for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed my ramblings on this film. Like and subscribe to my page if you have not. Definitely check out some of my other reviews. Check out some of my my new reviews that I'll be coming out with. And just like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Have a great day, evening, or morning, wherever you are. Thank you for watching. And just enjoy watching movies like I do. So thank you so much.